Today, I'm going to my backyard pond to see if I can survive 24 hours on the island. I'll only have a few minutes of prep time, and then I'll have to carry everything over to the island, and once I step foot on the island, I must survive for 24 hours. And in that 24 hours, I'll have to make my own tools, catch my own food, make my own fire, and hopefully survive. And this challenge ended up being a lot harder than I expected because nature was not on our side. So let's get ready to start the clock, because for the next 24 hours, I'm gonna have to see if I have what it takes to survive. All right, this is my backyard pond, and for the next 24 hours, I'm gonna be surviving only on that island. But before we actually get on the island, we've gotta first collect a few materials because, let's be honest, that island is not gonna have all the stuff we need to survive. So let's go collect some materials before we get on the island. All right, so all my stuff has to fit into this one single case. My buddy Caleb is also gonna be bringing some stuff. I told him he could only bring 3 items. That way we're very limited. So here's what we've got. We've got a little handsaw, we've got a life straw, some spices, because I do not want to eat some planned food. We've got some stuff for bluegill fishing. We've got another little sauce thing for some spicy wing sauce. I think that'll be good on bluegill, but we'll find out. We got some string, some hooks, and a fire starter, and right here we've got a cheap little Ozark Trails knife. Now this right here is an emergency first aid kit. That way if one of us does get scratched or something like that, we can tend to those wounds. We're gonna go ahead, zip this thing up, and get out to the island. Caleb's running a little bit late, so he's probably not gonna be here until around sunset, but we're gonna get everything prepared that we can right now. First thing I'm gonna need is something to make a fishing pole. And I think this piece of live wood should have enough of a bend into it to where we can craft something really awesome to use as a fishing pole. I'm also gonna need something to make a nice frog gig, so I think we're gonna go ahead and take this branch too. There we go. Now there's no heavy wood on the island either, so we're gonna go ahead and gather a little bit of firewood and set this aside so that it doesn't get wet whenever it rains, because I have a feeling it's gonna be raining pretty soon. But we'll get some firewood, and then we should be ready to pack everything over to the island and begin our 24-hour challenge. Now this may seem like a small step, but to me, this made all of the difference, and you'll see that later on. If I hadn't done this, we may not have survived. All right, now you may be asking, how on earth are you gonna get all your stuff over there? I've got this tent I need to bring, I've got some wood I need to bring, and then eventually I'm gonna need to bring all my items over there too. So we're basically just gonna swim it over there. I'm not gonna worry about getting a boat out. We're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way by taking it over by hand. And let me tell you, that water was definitely a little bit chillier than I expected. Oh my gosh, that water is freezing. Oh, okay, 2 more trips probably, and then we should be good to set up shop. Oh my gosh, it's cold. I hurried up and brought all the wood over to the island, and that's when nature decided to throw me the first curveball, and trust me, it wouldn't be the last. Oh no, it wasn't supposed to rain for another 2 hours. I'm gonna hurry up, go set the tent up, and put all my wood in the tent, that way it doesn't get wet. Still waiting on my buddy Caleb to show up. We're gonna do this challenge together, so I'm gonna hurry up and get that done. I might not be able to film it because it's raining, but I'll catch y'all as soon as I'm done with that. Okay, it's sunset. I was gonna wait on Caleb to get here, but he's still a little ways away. So we're gonna go ahead, bring everything else over there. Once I step foot on that island, I can then get in the water if I wanna catch some frogs tonight, but I cannot touch land until the 24 hours is up. Well, Caleb has finally decided to join us. So we'll see what he's brought here in a second. It's not deep, I promise. I literally just walked across. I just walked across. It went up to like my hips. Well, now you're gonna have to go back across to get your phone.
What do I need that for?
It's gonna do tonight. You're not gonna want it out right there.
Whatever.
Okay, if you fall, then that's on you. It's not deep though.
These are not watertight. I can feel it in my shoe.
All right, well, I will go get your phone. And then after that, we cannot cross and touch that land for 24 hours.
Oh, brother.
So, I'll go grab your phone though.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so here's our tent. We've got our wood in there. We got sleeping bags. I gotta change the clothes since mine are wet. And then we have all of this stuff we brought, as well as a battery to recharge this phone. Now, what did you bring? You had 3 items. It could not be food. So,
Right. Well, first off, every redneck needs some duct tape.
duct tape, solid choice, solid choice.
First item. You said we can't have food, but you didn't say nothing about drinks. This is straight calories right here. We're gonna need some electrolytes.
I guess technically that's not food, so
You can't have a water bottle, but you just pour it in your mouth like that, and then get your little water and swish it around.
okay, fair enough.
All right. I didn't think you would bring a fishing pole, so I got us something to catch fish with. Now these throwing knives,
What?
spray painted, because we're gonna need to have food.
How do you expect to retrieve that when you throw it in the water?
Well,
Okay, I guess we can put some fishing string on it, but there's no barbs on it either.
you don't need barbs. If you don't miss, then you can just.
Okay, and how do you expect that to fly in the water?
What do you mean fly in the water? See how sharp it is? You don't think that? Look, it can cut. They can cut through that tank. You don't think it can cut through water? Feel that?
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
It'll go straight through like an arrow and just.
Oh,
This is better than bow fishing.
okay. All right. Well, we'll have to test that out. But the sun is setting right now, so we're gonna need to catch some food.
I
So,
got us.
all right. If you can see a fish in this muddy water, then by all means, be my
I'll
guest.
wait for the catfish to come. We'll throw some a little something to throw on the surface so a catfish thinks it's fish food. And then once they come up, you just right in the head.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I haven't fed these fish in a little while, so they're probably not used to coming up for fish food.
It'll work. They'll
All
think
right.
it's a mayfly or something.
All right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I guess since you're gonna be using your throwing knife, I'll use this as my fishing pole, and then that one will turn into a frog gig. Or actually, that one's a little flimsier. We'll use that one as the fishing pole. Pretty simple. We're basically just gonna knock off all these side branches. Don't want to cut towards me. Trying to stay out of the emergency room on this one. All right, so that should be perfect length. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to score the bark here in a circle so I have somewhere where the line can sit, and then we'll get to fishing. Okay, next up, I'm gonna get some string and tie it around here. I might loop it a couple of times to give it extra strength. All right, we got that. No fish is gonna pull that off. Now I just need to cut a length of line. I usually go with whatever the length is of that, and then also a little bit extra to where I can reach it if there's a fish on it. So I'm gonna cut it right here. We'll tie on one of our hooks, and then I think that'll be good for catching us some fish. All right, Caleb is attaching his throwing knife to some string.
This was my plan from the beginning for retrieval.
Okay, gotcha. And then I've got this set up now with those little dough balls that I had packed in that survival kit. I did that because, I don't know if you guys can tell, but everything down here is thorns. It's like the entire island is covered with them. All those little round leaves is something called McCartney rose, and it has some nasty thorns. I'm talking some vicious thorns, and they'll go straight through your shoes. And I don't know if you can tell, but about half of this island is covered with all of those to where you can't even traverse it. So we're really not even on the island. We're on like the first third of the island is what's usable. The rest of it is just too much. And because of that, you can't really dig. I mean, you can't even access the ground without there being thorns. So I brought some bait so that we could use it to catch fish. And then we'll use those fish as bait to catch bigger fish. So the plan was basically to do a miniature food chain fishing challenge if I could catch a small enough bluegill, but if we weren't able to catch a small enough one, then we'll definitely eat the bluegill too. The sun was starting to dip behind the horizon, so that meant we did not have much time to catch these bluegill before it was going to be too late. Now we still can catch some catfish tonight, but a bluegill would just be a lot better and a lot easier to catch than a catfish, so that's what we were hoping for. And as I was sitting in the water trying to catch fish, I turned around and caught a glimpse of Caleb trying to catch fish too. You see one?
It's right there.
You missed, really?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell.
He'll be back.
Okay, bluegill catching and whatever fish he's definitely not actually thought. I told you, bro, it's not getting in the water.
I don't think I should have sharpened it. That's what it was. It's not quite sharp enough.
Yeah, sharpness is the problem. Gotcha. All right, so we have a battery and a light to film at night and to recharge my phone while we're on the island, but it may look really bright on camera. That's just because it's got that like night mode on or whatever. But without my phone and this light, I cannot see just about anything around me. So I guess the night portion of the video has begun. Of course, we're still gonna have daytime tomorrow morning. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get some stuff together to make a fire. So I got all the logs right here. We have it right next to the water and far enough away from the tent that if it does start to kind of get away from us, we can jump in the water, splash the bank, put the fire out, and everything will be good. I'm gonna get some of these little fluffy things as a tinder pile, and then we'll get the ferrocerium rod out and see if we can start this fire up. We're gonna see what we can manage to do. I think this will be fairly flammable. If not, we can always trade out that. We're gonna do something like a teepee. I don't have a lot of wood, so this is the only dry wood I was able to find earlier. And this island is not exactly the wooded area. It's mostly just thorns. But we do have some of these old golden rods that are fairly dried out, so we can use those as some wood too. Since it rained so much earlier without any time for the sun to dry everything out, making a fire was about to be very difficult. And even though we had a ton of materials, none of it was fully dried out, so we were about to have our work cut out for us. All right, we need to get fire started, and then hopefully the smoke will keep the mosquitoes at bay. We did bring some bug spray as well, so we don't end up catching a new swamp disease or something. But let's get our fire starter, and we might end up using an alcohol pad to start our fire. But before we do that, we're gonna try and do it natural. We built up a little tinder pile right here, and I'm gonna try and light it up with our ferrocerium rod. Even though this was the perfect material to start a fire with, it was just too wet from all the rain, and after a few minutes of messing with it, I decided to take the easier route. It's getting hot. I think it's a little bit moist from earlier, so we might need to go with a separate type of, like a different type of tinder. There we go. Okay, we cheated. We did. But I don't know if this is even going to be nice enough to ignite properly. Okay, I think it's just a little bit wet. Okay, we're going to go ahead, try to keep feeding this fire. We used some of the gauze pads to help speed the fire process along, and some of those dried up pieces of goldenrod, and after a good few minutes of working with it, we finally had a fire that was self-sufficient. I was working up a sweat tending to the fire, so now it's time for us to get some clean water. Got my life straw. I am actually quite thirsty now. So while Caleb tends the fire, I'm gonna get me a sip of water and then check on our catfish pole to see if we have a catfish. All right, we're gonna go ahead. Oh crap. Oh, it's cold. It still has a muddy kind of taste to it, but it's supposed to be safe. Refreshing. It has a taste to it though. I don't know if that's normal. But these are tested to work. They're supposed to filter all the best. Oh, okay, thank you. This is tested to work with all that stuff. It does take like a lot of suction to actually work, but we got it. Stop laughing. It does take a little bit of force and a little bit of time before the water actually starts coming up, but I mean, it is filtered water and I was thirsty, so there we go. All right, we got our fishing rod rebaited back up. Our fire is going strong. We're gonna set this back over, and then I'm gonna get in the water and see if we can spot a frog somewhere. And we might need to frog gig him. Oh wait, we actually first need to make a frog gig. So let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna drop this right here. Because to be honest with you, we have catfish. They're gonna come wild for this. I don't think we're gonna have to set it too deep. So I'm just gonna stick this right there. You know what? We might just leave this over here like that in the grass and hope that it doesn't get pulled into the water. But if it does, it floats. So we'll at least be able to see where it's at and jump in and grab the stick. All right, we're gonna turn this into a frog gig, harden up the tip and the fire, and then get to frog gigging. Now, usually when you're making a frog gig, you want to use a dead piece of wood and you want to split the tip of it, make multiple prongs and things like that. But I was just making one real quick, so I just made a simple spear by knocking all the branches off and sharpening the end of it. Then I'll put it in the fire to harden the tip, and then we're done. All right, we're not trying to burn it, we're just trying to harden it. That's hardened up a little bit. And now, let's catch us a frog. And I wish I could tell you that this is where we finally got our dinner. We speared a whole bunch of frogs and we ate well. Unfortunately, I walked the entire perimeter of the pond twice and didn't see so much as a single frog. Oh, fish just hit me in the foot. Oh, smacked in the side of my leg. Oh goodness, I'm getting stuck in the water. I'm walking around in this shallow water just... I don't know what I just saw. I don't know if... I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Dang it, the second I look at my screen, instead of where I'm actually walking, something... Ooh, saw something shoot out in the water. Maybe I can find a crawfish or something. I spent probably about an hour trying to find some source of food in the water, but I didn't find anything. So I made my way back over to the island to see if our fishing rod had caught anything yet. Still nothing on our line right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get changed, and we may just have to wait to catch our food until the morning and start a new fire. Which is a real shame because we may burn through all of our fuel today and have to start fresh with some new fuel. So hopefully the embers will be hot enough in the morning. But I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for bed. We'll check the catfish line one last time before bed. We might even tie up another line and throw it out. Caleb had brought a water bottle with him that's empty, so we may turn that into a quick jug line, throw that out into the pond, and maybe catch something overnight. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, get changed, and catch y'all when I'm done. We're gonna use the materials we were given and tie a line around here real tight, and then we'll get a hook on the other end, put some bait on it, and throw it out in the pond. All right, it will not be able to pull that off as hard as he wants to pull. So now we'll tie a hook on there, put some bait, throw this in the pond. Now I was gonna use bluegill as my bait, like a little piece of the scrap, but we'll just have to use these dough balls since we weren't able to catch bluegill. And tomorrow we'll use a little piece of bluegill as our bait. But here we go, our finished jug line. I am just going to throw this right over here. And there we go. Hopefully that'll catch us some food while we sleep. I think I'm gonna go ahead and kind of knock the fire down just so that it doesn't spread any further tonight. And then we'll go to sleep and come back out at it in the morning when hopefully the fish are biting a little better. All right, we're just gonna kind of try to, oh, smoke in my eyes. Ah, I can't see. Okay, we're just gonna kind of try to smother this fire real quick. We don't want it burning up all of our fuel, so I'm gonna kind of set it like that. Maybe even pull our logs off the side of it. That way we're not burning all of our fuel for tomorrow. Kind of just beat that down. Yeah, there you go. Okay, fire is effectively put out. It's gonna smolder for a little while. That's okay. I just don't want all of my fuel burning up tonight, so we have some to burn tomorrow. And yeah, not ideal. Bad first night. Oh, smoke. Oh. Anyways, as I was saying, not an ideal first night. We have no food. We do have a way to get water. I am kind of hungry, but we'll have to go to sleep on an empty stomach, and that'll motivate us even more tomorrow. So I'll catch you guys then. Yeah, close the old skeeter net. We're gonna definitely leave that outer one open because it is a bit toasty.
Yeah, the heater's on, brother.
I'm not even getting in the sleeping bag. I need as much cushion as possible. This ground is hard.
It is actually kind of comfy.
Oh, well, your spot might be comfy, but mine. Oh, you know what? I got a stick right, like, supporting my back. Okay, I know it's gonna be hard to see, but this is gonna be basically where we're crashing for the night. And first thing in the morning, we're gonna wake up and try to secure some food. So I catch you guys in the morning, I guess, if we can get any sleep. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put my phone on the charge for tonight. That way it'll be full battery in the morning and we can hit the ground running.
Big nasty spider.
Oh, dude, you just knocked it onto yourself.
Big nasty spider.
No, he didn't. It's right there. Caleb said, "What's that moving?" It's a spider. Come see, little fella. Come see, little fella. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. Yeah. There he goes. I killed a big bad spider. Well, I just relocated the big bad spider for you. There's just there are a couple mosquitoes in here, but other than that, it is mostly bug free now. You can come back in. Bro was tweaking. He was kicking around trying to get out of the tent as fast as possible.
I'll get your panties in a knot.
I don't think I was the one getting my undies in a bunch.
I know what you're wearing, buddy.
Okay, well, new clothes, fresh fit. Spider's been taken out. Now it's time for bed. All right, there's our night's fright. It's morning, and I hardly slept at all last night. This is probably one of the least comfortable places I've ever slept in my life. But it's the morning time. Caleb's outside taking a pee, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and check our traps. Not our traps, our fishing lines to see if we caught a fish, and hopefully we can have some breakfast. But I think it rained last night, which isn't great for the clothes that I had on top of the tent drying. Pretty sure they're just gonna be even more wet, but luckily we got our change of clothes that we brought yesterday, and let's go ahead and get back to surviving. All right, well, it definitely did rain last night. This is more than just dew, and my clothes are even more soaked than they were when I put them out to dry last night. Also, all of our firewood, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be soaked. So I don't know how well we're going to be able to start a fire, but we're going to do our best to try. But first, let's go ahead and check our lines. Looks like our jug line has nothing. If there's something on there, it'll be swimming around. So I might go ahead and try to pull it in and rebait it up here in a second to see if they took our bait. But let's go check on our pole line. And, oh, hole in the water. Hole in the water. Okay, so do we have something, or is it just caught up? It might just be caught up. A fish must have grabbed it and wrapped it around in the weeds. The only question I had was, is that fish still attached to the line? And if so, we've got breakfast. Stabby stick to pick up some of this junk out the way. Right here. Come on. Okay, there's our bobber. Oh! That's a fish.
Oh, it's a catfish.
We got a fish. Okay.
Don't break the line.
I'm not gonna break this line.
I'm so hungry.
Let's try it. You got us all wrapped up. No!
No. You're joking.
You're kidding. Did he take my hook? I think he broke the tip of the hook off. He did. Oh my gosh. That was breakfast. Dang it! Okay, well, we gotta get fishing. Oh my gosh. Alright, so got a new hook on. We're gonna try and get some bluegill while that thing going for catfish. I'm gonna get a half of one of these dough balls, put that on the hook, and see if maybe we can catch one like that. Now, I'm not sure what caused these fish to stop biting. Maybe it's the fact that I fish out here quite often. Maybe it was the weather conditions. But whatever the case, we could not get a fish to bite no matter how hard we tried. All right, while Caleb is over there working on some fishing, I'm gonna be over here working on some fire. Okay, there is our basis for the next fire. And now we gotta see if we can find some wood dry enough to actually light. That's gonna be the biggest problem. And the thing I'm kind of looking for is like that over there, that really dry, tall, brittle stuff. But we took a lot of it last night, so there's not much left. But we're gonna go ahead and see if we can find something. See, stuff like this, last night, this was bone dry, and now it's all wet. So we'll grab some of this stuff anyways to dry it out on top of the fire, but it's not gonna light immediately. And we might be in trouble when it comes to fire, but we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so a little bit of a problem. These shoes are not very thick on the bottom, and I have been stepping on thorns that have poked through my shoes. So we're gonna use this duct tape and kind of wrap my feet so I have a little bit more protection from these thorns. All right, we now have more protection on the bottom of our shoes so that I won't be getting poked in the feet by thorns. Before I go back, I am going to try to use some of this with my life straw because the mud water is not the most appetizing, but I am very thirsty. So we're gonna put a pause on the fire and get some hydration. I don't think I put enough. Ugh. I mean, it's better than the mud water. It does definitely take away that earthy taste from it. Oh, that was really good, actually. Okay, W on Caleb for this. Oh, too much powder. Ugh. Oh, okay. All right. There we go, back to firewood collecting. Okay, I can finally kind of cross over on this area. These McCartney roses, they have long thorns and tiny microscopic thorns all along the sides of them, like that, and they'll poke right through your shoes. So hopefully this is strong enough to at least block them a little bit, but I need to get over here and get some of these dry sticks that are poking up, because that's gonna be our only hope. Okay, I have not been poked through the foot yet. Let me grab this one. Oh, this one's actually fairly dry on the top. I mean, I still feel a little bit of surface moisture, but it definitely feels dry all the way through. We didn't come over here last night because of all the thorns, but we're kind of desperate now, so we're gonna try and harvest as much of this stuff up here as I can without falling into the water or getting stabbed by thorns. All right, we now have somewhat dry firewood. And so the trick now is I don't think I have any more of those alcohol pads. So we may have to start this up with wet wood and try to make our own tinder somehow. But we'll get to that whenever we actually get our fire prepped. Thank the Lord, we do still have an alcohol prep pad and a gauze pad. I've got my fire prepped and ready. Let's hopefully get this thing going. Okay, it started. Okay. I need this to catch, if it'll burn. It's not wanting to burn. No, don't go out. Oh, no. Please tell me that's not all of it. This is our last alcohol pad. Okay, it started. Let's bring this over. Okay, yes. And after a couple of minutes of nurturing this fire up, we finally had another stable fire going, and this time we were determined to not let it die. Nothing on the bottle, nothing on the rod, but our fire's going pretty good right now, so I think what we're gonna do is do what we did last night, set this pretty deep for a catfish, stick it off on the side of the island somewhere, and then wait. Okay, so we do have the rod set up. If it gets in the water, that's okay, I'll jump in after it. Oh, we're getting a bite. We still got 9 hours left in our 24-hour survival challenge, and I don't have that much battery, so I'm gonna drop this down, let it hopefully catch a fish while we're waiting, and get back to you guys as soon as we have dinner secured. Luckily, the fire is going pretty strong, and since we knocked over those logs last night, we will have plenty of fuel to last at least a good 5 or 6 hours, as long as we don't burn it too hot. And as long as we keep supplementing with some of this more wet wood, that wet wood will slow down the burn and provide more long-term fuel. So that's kind of what we're having to do. We've been clearing out some of this brush right there and throwing it in even though it's still wet. And even with it being wet, it's kind of burning up fairly quick. We need to make sure we preserve a little bit of fuel so we can cook our fish when we catch it. And who knows how long that's gonna take. I did rebait the bottle line. It was empty with bait. So maybe next time I need to bring a box of worms. I'm glad I have my phone to tell the time because the sun is completely clouded out. So I don't know if the sun's there or if the sun's up there, but because it's about 8 o'clock, the sun's probably gonna be around there somewhere. At this point, we're throwing in some live stuff too, just to kind of slow down the burn, but it seems like it's just melting right through it. So the fire is definitely a little hotter than we had anticipated. which I guess is good, but not good at the same time. So we're kind of clearing out a lot of this area to throw into burn. So that's going to probably be our next couple of hours, just throwing stuff in the fire to keep it hot while we wait on our passive forms of fishing to catch us some fish. I think there's something on the bottle. Oh, yes! Lunch! Oh, I don't know how a bluegill got on the jug line. I mean, it is a small hook. Oh, thank the Lord. Okay, first fish of the day. We can finally start cooking. Ugh. Okay, I don't even want to take him off the hook yet. Ugh. Help me out. Okay. Oh, worth it. Worth it. Okay, let's get this guy skinned up and ready to cook. We were getting stuff ready to put in the fire. If you look over here, we have pretty much almost cleared off the entire island to keep the fire going. But I saw this. I wasn't sure if it was the wind or what, but I saw it jiggle a little bit. So figured I'd jump in and check it. And I am so glad we got a fish. He must have been on there for a little while because he loosened up that hook hole. Let's go check the other one too. It's been a little while since we've checked it. We've been focused on the fire so much. But let me set this over here. Let's check the other line. I don't know if the one's on there or if it's just, no, it's moving. It's moving. Yes! Oh, small one.
Oh.
That's okay. Is he dead? He was moving, wasn't he?
Yeah, I saw him moving.
Oh, he was loosened up too. Probably need to check these a little more often. We got distracted. We were talking around the fire. Oh, he's still alive. Yeah, he's good. Okay, not the giant we're looking for, but as someone who hasn't eaten since noon yesterday, and it's about 10:30 right now. Oh, this is a beautiful sight. Oh, man. I am carefully scaling this fish with my knife. We're going to season it up and cook it over the fire here in a second. Now, I can't show all of this. I got to blur it out for YouTube. But basically, we chopped the head off of it, and now we are scaling it. That's the best way I can do bluegill. You also gutted it, and that's about it. So let me scale the other one, and should be ready to cook. I am starving. Oh, almost dropped it. All right, we got it washed up. This is now processed fish, and we're just gonna get that seasoning container that I brought, season these puppies up, and cook them over the fire. All right, we got some salt, a little bit of that, some pepper, and then let's see, some cayenne pepper. Get a little bit of heat.
Give it some flavor.
This is a little multi-spice thing. You can get it in like the camping section at Walmart, and this thing is awesome. I had one of these. I used it for probably 2 years, and then got a new one. So definitely recommend this thing if you're going camping or survival challenges, things like that. That way you're not eating unseasoned food. Our fire is still going pretty good. You might want to wash that off. Caleb just dropped his. So our fire is going pretty good. We have cleared out so much of this island just keeping the fire going while we waited on some fish to get caught. And now I'm gonna kind of cook it like I'm roasting a hot dog over here over these embers. Fish takes not too long to cook, so I'm not expecting to be here for too long. But I am gonna go ahead and have Caleb hold my fish over the fire for a second so that I can rebait our traps so he can hopefully catch another fish. Now, technically, this water bottle was in Caleb's pocket when he brought it, so this might have been a fourth item. Maybe you'll consider that cheating, but I definitely want to still use it. All right, rebait it up, throw it out, roughly the same spot, and if it moves, that means we caught a fish. Of course, the wind is going to kind of move it a little bit side to side, but if we see it go up and down, that means you got a fish. I'm just now realizing I baited up the wrong line with the dough bait. I was supposed to put catfish bait on the other one with like those bluegill heads, but here we are. I'm gonna go ahead, bait this thing back up and throw it out. I might even mush this up and throw it in the water for chum to try and maybe attract a few more. But anyways, that's what we're planning on doing. It's worked for us so far. We've got our first little bit of food in like 15 hours. So once that gets cooked up, I am ready to eat. All right, same spot. We'll see if we can catch another fish here. gonna go ahead and kind of flatten this out, give it a little bit more surface area, and throw it in the water to get that scent going. So there we go. A little bit of chum right there. All right, Caleb's cooking up our fish. We've got our bottle line over there, and then our regular fishing line over here. Looks like nothing's messed with it just yet. Now, usually once you catch one, you got your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coming behind it. So I'm kind of expecting for the fishing to pick up at this point. But as of right now, not much of anything. And I am drenched, soaking wet now. But honestly, that's not too big of a problem because it is pretty warm outside, even though it's very overcast. Luckily, it's not too hot right now. That's been a blessing. All right, had to move the fire around a little bit to get those logs in the middle, but now we're cooking. Bro, stop taking my heat.
You're hogging all the fire.
Oh gosh, the smoke's getting me.
You're hogging all the fire.
Bro, let me cook.
They want to be friends.
Bro, stop stealing my fire. Bro.
Dab me up. Dab me up.
Oh, you're gonna fall.
It's gonna fall.
Okay, I think mine is probably just about cooked to perfection. So we're gonna go ahead and try it out. What do you think? Yours good? His has been almost slipping because he didn't skewer his fish. He kind of set it on the stick. I think mine's cooked.
I would reckon so.
All right, let's chow down. We're gonna go ahead, see.
You gotta eat the fins too.
I don't want to eat the bones on the fins, but the bones are pulling out, which means the meat is cooked. Let me go ahead. It's gonna be very smoky, I think. And we didn't have any butter, so it's not gonna be as soft and, ooh. It is cooked.
You can eat that skin.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the skin. These bones pull right out. I think we might have overcooked it, actually. There was a bone. I think I just ate it. Okay, that was good. That's actually, it tastes very good. I'm just gonna need to worry about the bones here. Usually you cook it with some butter and stuff like that. It seeps in, and the bones are a lot easier to take out. Oh my gosh.
How's that taste
After,
what, 16 hours?
something like that, oh my gosh, it is so good.
It's actually starting to sprinkle here. Hopefully our fire doesn't go out.
Oh crap. Well, we're gonna get in the tent. I'm already soaked enough as it is. Awesome, we spent so much time on that fire, and it's probably gonna be put out by some rain. But at least we got some food. Hours and hours of survival and fishing and everything else. And this is our meal. So, I guess, bon appetit. It's gonna be kind of hard to eat and record at the same time because I gotta watch out for the bones. So, I think we're gonna go ahead, finish eating this, and then I guess wait for the rain to stop.
A lot of bones.
A lot of bones, yeah. Bit of salt. There's a ton of tiny bones you gotta watch out for. Other than that, it is really good. Ooh, put some salt on it, dude. That makes it so much better. I got a nice little boneless piece right here with the skin on. Oh. I don't know if it's the hunger talking, but that's some of the best bluegill I've ever had. Oh. Oh. Almost.
Never seen Tom and Jerry?
Okay, I got most of that. I'm gonna have to pick the meat off of that, but most of this is gonna be bone free now. I am gonna have to still pick through it though, around the rib cage. Perfect. I'll double checking for bones. Oh. And when you're done, that's just about all that's left. All right, let's hope that the rain passes pretty soon. It has lightened up a good bit, and maybe we'll catch something else. We'll see. Okay, it didn't rain for very long. Oh, we do still have fire. We still have fire. It's not quite as strong as it was before, but we still got it. And let's see if we caught some fish. Doesn't look like we got anything just yet. Okay, so it is still raining. We're gonna go ahead and wait a little bit longer in the tent, see if this stuff passes, and then, I don't know. The fishing's been real tough. We had a cold front come through, and I think that's what's been messing them up. So here's the situation. Our fire is low. It's raining a little bit harder now, and it's just gonna keep getting worse. We don't have enough food for 2 people, so I think we may have to just kick somebody off the island. Okay, yeah, it's raining a lot harder now, so we're gonna have to take cover and make a decision here in a little bit. Okay, it is pouring down buckets now, so we're definitely gonna have to take cover, or at least I am, because I think I'm gonna have to kick Caleb off the island.
But you can't do this.
All right, he's off the island. Bye, Caleb. I'm gonna be on the island for the rest of the challenge, and I guess I'm gonna take cover and hide in the tent because our fire is extinguished and it is pouring down rain. Okay, my phone is getting soaking wet, so I'm gonna take cover in my tent, and I'll catch you guys as soon as this slacks off. By some miracle, I have managed to survive this far, and I saw the fire smoking a little bit, so I think we have a little bit of heat left, which, with only about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours left in the challenge, I really need some food. I am hungry. Having Caleb off the island means I no longer have a cameraman, but it also means I don't have to catch quite as much food. Maybe I should have kicked him off before we caught our food, but I'm not seeing anything on our line. I'm gonna have to rebait this again. Now that jug line is caught on that vine, and I don't remember it being there whenever I threw it, so there might be something on the end of that. So I'm gonna go check that, and then if I got something, I'll work on restarting the fire. Otherwise, I'm gonna conserve my energy. All right, so I had my phone on the charger and went out to check it. There was nothing on it, so I went and threw it on the other side where we got our catfish that we messed up this morning. And I'm gonna try and do some bluegill fishing further down this way to see if maybe we can get something. Oh, come on, man. Something just splashed over there. I think it was right there. Well, I've tried fishing with my line. I've been trying to fish with my hands. I've been trying to fish any way I can, and nothing's biting. I think this cold front just really messed me up. So now we're just gonna sit there and wait with our jug line in the water, with our other line sitting in the water, and we've got 3 hours left of 2 hours left in the challenge, something like that. I'll have to check the time again in a minute. We don't have long. I could survive just without eating, but I really do want to get a little bit more food in my system because I am hungry. And this is all that's left of our meal earlier. Ooh, this tent does get pretty hot, especially in the sunlight. The rain cooled it down a little bit, but now I'm just leaving this thing open to get a little airflow in, and it's just hot. I'm hungry, I'm wet, I'm ready to get in some dry clothes. I got these soaking wet. I probably should have changed back into my wet clothes before I jumped in the water. But lesson learned, I guess. And now we're on the final stretch of this survival challenge, and I'm gonna be very happy when it's over. I think I chose the worst location for a survival challenge. First of all, I catch these fish all the time, so they're very smart and very hook shy, so that's working against me. The weather's working against me. The island itself is not very resource rich, so that's working against me. And if it isn't one thing, it's another. So between the rain and the cold front that came through that's kind of making the fish lazy, all of that's working against me. So maybe we'll do this again sometime whenever the weather's a little bit better. But for now, I am just ready for this challenge to be over. At least when you do a survival challenge in the woods, you can leave more than like, I don't know, a 50 foot by 20 foot area. But this island is not very big at all. So not very many resources to work with. I wanted to do one where I build my own shelter, but this island just does not have enough cover to create a shelter. So next time we'll do a bigger area, different location for a survival challenge, and maybe we can actually hunt animals and fish instead of just having to rely on fishing. I mean, shoot, if I could catch some spiders and grasshoppers, I'd be cooking them suckers up too, but there's nothing on this island. I first stepped foot on this island when the sun was right there at the top of the trees. So once that sun touches there, the challenge is completed. Going ahead and trying to get this fire going again. Oh, fire! We have fire! Yes! Okay. Fire's not gonna be a problem. It was definitely hot enough to keep going. So we just need food. Oh, I'm so hungry. At this point, I'm even looking around to see if I see any turtles in the water, because if I spot a good sized turtle, I'm jumping in after him. The only thing that's been keeping me going is tending to this fire. And I don't know if you can see, but we have demolished pretty much all of that high stuff and burned it in the fire. And I'm just kind of working my way back towards that side and keeping up the fire. It's keeping me distracted long enough to forget about my hunger a little bit. Okay, I just found what looks to be an abandoned wasp nest. Yep. Honestly, I was hoping there'd be some grubs or something to eat in this, but it's all vacated. Fire. The sun has really dried things up, so I want to prove to you guys that I can make a fire using only materials on hand and not using the alcohol pads. So I'm gonna go ahead and collect some material and make a natural fire without using the alcohol pads, just to show you guys that it's only because everything was wet. Now for my tinder pile, I'm gonna take some of these up here and then some of these dead leaves at the base of this tree. Now yesterday it was covered in dew and rain, but today it's nice and dried out from the sun. So let's see if we can make a natural fire. For the record, see, I could have started a fire naturally. It's just my materials were soaking wet. For the record. I just wanted that to be known, okay? I'm not one of those sissies who can't start a fire. Everything was just wet, okay? That is all natural material right there. I could start a fire with just the ferrocerium rod. Woo, hot. Whew. It's just that everything was wet yesterday. So, for the record. All right, final check. Still got bait. That is insane. Man, I'm really wishing I did this in the spring when the dewberries would be in season, but there's no plant life that I can think to eat. Now you can turn some of these plants into tea, but I don't have any kind of container to boil them in. So I'm pretty much stuck with the only fish diet right now, and that is not working out for me. All right, I went ahead, the fire's died down. I've packed up my tent and all my belongings from up here. I am so hungry. We've got about 20 to 30 minutes before we're back to where we started yesterday, and nothing has touched either our jug line over here or our fishing rod over there. Okay, once I step foot on this bank, the challenge is officially over. Oh, goodness, okay. Challenge is over. Today's scripture comes from Psalms 46, verse 1. It says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Thank you, Boy Y, for the scripture suggestion. And if you have a scripture suggestion, put it in the comments down below. Okay, time for me to head inside and get some real food. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Thanks so much for watching the whole video. Make sure you're subscribed because we've got some crazy projects in the making. We got the pool pond, we've got an upgrade to the bass tank, we've got some hunting videos, some trapping videos, all kinds of crazy stuff coming soon, and you're not going to want to miss any of it. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and as always, Jesus loves you, I love you, and have a great day.